Journaling to release suppressed emotions. Welcome to Transform Perspective. I am Kyra, here to guide and encourage others to have a transformed perspective as we evolve on this journey called life, a channel all about growth, transformation, spiritual, mental well-being, self-awareness, and lifestyle, day-to-day life, okay? It is a struggle sometimes, it's good sometimes, it's all over the place, it could be a roller coaster ride, but I'm here to share with you as I go on this roller coaster ride and invite you to come with me on this journey so we can do it together. This video is for anyone who wants to know how to release their emotions and release those emotional blockages. We all have them at times. And sometimes we know how to navigate our emotions. Sometimes we don't. We don't know how to process them. We keep them repressed, or we blur them out, take our emotions out on other people, places, and not on places, but you know what I mean. You just want to be able to process them and to release them and just woosah. Emotions can be a lot. But we're going to get into that today in this video. So yeah, it's journaling. So whether you journal a lot or not, this video will give you so many tips and prompts, a bonus, to help you kind of get started when it comes to journaling and being able to process those emotions, because they can be a lot. So definitely stay tuned. Let's get into it. Emotions can be a lot, okay? You have those positive emotions, those negative emotions. They're all emotions and they come from within us. Things outside of us can trigger them, and sometimes we don't always know how to process them. We're not taught emotional intelligence. We're taught a lot of things in school, those 8 hours a day for a good chunk of our life, from 5 all the way to 18. We're taught a lot, but not emotional intelligence for most of us. So it can be difficult, and even with family and friends and growing up, maybe our parents and stuff didn't teach us because they didn't know either. So I think we're just definitely in a new time where we're starting to become more aware and be able to look at these things that have been buried deep within us. And that includes emotions. Not saying that everybody isn't emotionally intelligent. I feel like we all are at different places with that, and it can be a struggle. It was a struggle for myself, and I'm still learning, but I definitely want to share what I've learned. Here are a few tips to help you kind of release those emotions, release those suppressed and stuck emotions within you. Just a few tips, pretty simple, but it's helped me a lot just to kind of have some steps to work through, especially when you're in the moment and you're you got a lot going on. It's good to have some tips or something that you can go to in those moments. The first tip is to recognize self-awareness, being able to see it and to point it out and say, okay, that's there. Sometimes when we have a lot of emotions, we can be very angry or very sad. It can feel uncomfortable. And so at times, we can just act like they're not there, or be in doubt, or just try to suppress it and just keep moving, keep going, keep going. But if you notice when you do that, it just comes back up again 10 times stronger. And so being able to just be aware of it, being able to see it and say, hey, I'm sad, or I'm upset, or I'm angry, being able to point out those emotions and see them for what they are without kind of doubting them, without suppressing them, without acting like they're not there. The first thing is to recognize it for what it is, to see it. The second thing is to respond, and also to reflect, being able to show up for yourself in that moment, to be able to fully feel it and let it just be there and be there with it, And there's many ways that you can respond to your emotions in a healthy way, or a way that works best for you. This could be crying, this could be writing, this could be dancing, listening to music, doing some art, or punching a bag, screaming. It's many different ways that you can respond and allow yourself to fully feel it, especially, when you're worked up and you're in the moment, and you have to try to find a way to express it without hurting yourself or hurting other people. So those are just a few things that you can do. Of course, it's like, duh, cry, but sometimes we don't allow ourselves to cry because maybe we could be at the store, just like not in the best place to cry. So we repress it and save it for later, or don't ever come back to it, or just try not to. So just finding a way to fully feel it and respond rather than react to it. Be able to sit, reflect, and just feel it. The third tip is to realign. And this is just self care and compassion for yourself. To realign yourself with your authentic self, with your truthful self, being able to show up as honest and authentic as you can, and having compassion for that aspect of yourself. And I feel like the best way to do this when it comes to self care and compassion is just taking small steps, creating a routine or healthy habits that you can practice so it becomes a lifestyle, so it becomes your go to when you're in a situation where your emotions are just getting the best of you. Incorporate these things in your day to day life. Incorporate healthy habits that work for you, that are best for you, and that will allow you to embody your true self, embody your authentic self without having to hide behind the emotions or try to act a certain way and, be hurting yourself internally or hurting other people externally. Take out the time to see, okay, what works for me? How can I show up for me? How can I care for myself? And be compassionate with these emotions and what I'm experiencing in the moment or in your day-to-day life. Some examples of this could be, of course, daily journaling. I love to journal, and I always recommend writing. You don't have to be great at journaling or even know what to write. You just can set aside 10 minutes a day to sit down and say whatever's on your mind or whatever's on your heart. Or you could do a guided journal, or, I have plenty of videos for that if you ever just want to, watch a video depending on how you feel. There's free prompts also in this video. So being able to just have resources like that with the journaling, as well as, like I said, running, yoga, stretching, working out, making art, pick up a new hobby like crocheting or painting. Even if it's not a hobby, you can do things like taking a nice shower and listening to your favorite songs, or reading and having a cup of tea before bed. Or waking up in the morning and stretching, getting some fresh air and nature every day. A lot of times we can stay on these computers and these phones, and sometimes we just need fresh air. Setting aside time to just relax, reset, get your nervous system together before you go about your day-to-day life. And these are just a few examples of just creating a habit, a healthy habit or a routine or something to go to so you're able to digest what you're feeling inside and what you're experiencing outside of yourself. So just creating those healthy habits, making it a routine. And even if it's not something you do daily, just have a go-to when you're feeling super angry or you're feeling super sad, or you notice yourself repressing your emotions or you don't know what to do with them. Be like, okay, anytime I'm feeling angry and I don't know what to do, I'm going to go scream in my pillow. Or anytime I'm feeling this, I'm going to go do this. Just have something to replace it with. And if you can, also just practice small steps in your day-to-day life. If you are new to this channel, and even if you're not, make sure you are subscribed. You turn your post notifications so you know every time I post, which is Tuesday, sometimes Saturday. We'll see, but Tuesdays for sure. And the podcast is also on Spotify. So if you're subscribed on YouTube, don't forget to follow on Spotify. And yeah, I just want to throw all that out there. There's a free 15-minute guided meditation in the description below. All you gotta do is click the link and you go from there. I just need your email and then it'll be sent directly to you. But it's a 15-minute guided meditation for deep relaxation. Now, I have plenty of other free guided meditations as well. They're just 5, 10 minutes, 7 minutes. So if you've been looking for a little bit longer of a meditation, definitely check it out. It's a freebie. So even if you meditate, you just want to check it out, do so, and then let me know what you think through email or in the comments. Don't forget to like this video, and yeah, let's get back into it. Before we get into the journaling prompts, I want to go over just a few journaling tips, as I always do. The first thing is to make sure you have something to write with and to write on. That is super important. I always recommend a journal, a book, something you can always come back to. Even if you don't write a lot, you just want to make sure it's in a safe place. If you don't have that, just get a piece of paper or something. so you can write on it. The second thing is making sure that whatever you're writing down, you're able to put it in a safe place. Make sure you don't write it down and leave it, for someone to take or read, or maybe they spill something on it, or maybe you spill something on it. Just make sure whatever you're writing, you either rip it up, get rid of it, or you put it in a safe place to come back and reflect on. The third thing is to make sure you create a safe space for yourself when you're writing. That's super important, to make sure that you are honest with yourself, that you make sure it's a judge-free zone, and you're able to let it out, with no expectations of how to write it and what to say and what not to say. You just let it out because it's your time, you're going within, and so make sure that it's very safe and comfortable for you. It has to be comfortable, or it's going to be hard to really express yourself in these ways. The fourth tip when you're writing is to just make sure that this is your time to write, so you can write at your own pace. You can write however you want. There's no right or wrong way when it comes to journaling and expressing your feelings or just writing in general. So do it how you want to do it and find what works for you. Now, before you get ready to write down these journaling prompts, take a moment to just breathe, especially when it comes to emotions and, diving deep and talking about things that maybe you repress or are hard to reflect on and express. Take a few deep breaths. Go ahead and take 3 at least. Inhaling through the nose, holding it, and then exhaling out of the mouth at your own pace. Feel free to pause for each prompt if you want to write it down now or if you want to come back to it later. But these prompts will be in the description below as well. So write them however you feel. Here are some journaling prompts for releasing suppressed emotions. The first prompt is, how do you feel? And for this question, just let it all out. You can write a whole page if you want to. Just write everything. Everything that's on your mind, everything that's on your heart. No filter, no judgment. Just let it out and fully express what's been going on inside. The second prompt is, in what ways have I avoided these emotions? So you may notice that you have some coping mechanisms, or, you do something every time you feel these emotions pile up. So kind of sit for a moment and reflect on, what do you usually do when you're feeling these emotions? How do you avoid them or suppress them and try not to address them? The third prompt is, why has this been bothering me? So take a moment to really dissect the emotion that you're feeling and look at what triggered it. What triggers you to feel this, and how does it come up? Just being able to look at why. Why does it bother you? Is it anything that you notice day to day? Is it something repetitive? Is it something new? Is it connected to anything in your life? Just being able to really sit and think about those things. The fourth prompt is a fill in the blank, and that is, right now I need. And then fill in the blank there. What do you need right now? That could be anything. But if you don't know what that is, just take a moment to sit, take a few deep breaths, and ask yourself, what do I need right now? Fifth prompt is, if your inner child felt this way, what advice would you give them? If your younger self, the little you, if they felt this way, what would you tell them right now? And write that down. I think that has to be my favorite prompt out of all of them, because it's interesting to see how you would respond to your younger self. What would you want them to know when they're feeling this, these suppressed emotions, this stress, this tension, this whatever it is? What do you want them to know? What would be best for them? Those are all the journaling prompts that I have, but if you feel like it, go ahead and pause. And when you're finished with those, you can say this now, or you can say it after you're done answering them. Repeat this affirmation after me. I release all emotional blockages from my mind, body, and heart now. I will continue to create a safe space to feel and to heal. Repeat that affirmation as many times as you want, but it's just a reminder and a way to really speak out what you've done and what you're going to continue to do. Really set those intentions and then practice it, and take steps. It is all about steps. It's not about getting rid of these emotions, so we don't have to feel them, or so we don't have to deal with them anymore and just getting it over with. It's not about getting rid of the emotions. It's about processing them in a healthy way. It's about fully feeling them so you can be your true authentic self, so you can live a healthier life. Your mind, body, and spirit are all affected by your emotions and how you deal with them. The people around you, what you do in your life, where you go, like all of this stuff is connected and affected by your emotions and how you handle them, how you process them, and how you show up for yourself. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed those tips, those prompts, and that you enjoy your journaling and diving deep and being able to learn about yourself and learn how to process and release your emotions. When they're stuck, when they're suppressed, it could take a toll on you, your mental health, your physical well-being, your relationships, your life, everything, internal and external, is connected. So it's really important to find healthy ways to show up for yourself so you can just be your best self, so you can embody your true and authentic self and embody your highest potential. We are so powerful, so beautiful, and so capable of many different things. And I know it can seem so small. It's just like, oh, emotion, I don't have time for this, to write, the journal, to do all these different things. But if you're ready to help, assist yourself in growing and transforming and healing, which happens naturally, it's nothing that you force. But if you want to just help yourself in the process, this is a great way to do it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Transform Perspective is on YouTube, it's on Spotify, and I even have shorts and other content on TikTok. So definitely follow on all platforms, subscribe, share with anyone who you think would benefit from this video. Don't forget about that free 15-minute guided meditation that is in the description below. All you gotta do is click the link. It's free. It's just your email. And I promise I won't be bugging you. It's just a freebie and you'll be added to my email list. So definitely click below in the description. If you need those journaling prompts, that'll be there too. I hope you enjoyed this video. And before I go, like I always say, it is not about perfection. We're not reaching for perfection. What even is that? What is perfect? But committing to expansion. Have a transformed perspective.